I feel what you feel, 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 what you feel,
Welcome to Drums Radio at White City House. I am so excited to present our guest today. TrueSounds label founder, Kid Fonque. Can I have a hand, please? Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. It should be on.
Check one. Is it on?
Should be on.
So, can you hear me? All right.
All good?
Yeah.
I'm going to get straight into it.
Let's go.
Who is Kid Fonque?
Whew. I don't think we've got enough time. Kid Fonque is a DJ, firstly, and someone that just wants to spread what's going on in my life, which is happening in South Africa, but spread the word of all these new exciting producers that are coming out of South Africa that have been inspired by house music, international house music.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of sums it up. We could go into like I'm a dad, I'm a tall guy, but I mean that generally is why we're here, right?
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Yeah, yeah.
But the different hats are always interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, they make up all the parts of you.
Exactly.
You talk about kind of inspiration and who they've been inspired by.
So this is the constant conversation that I'm having with a lot of the guys that I interview for my radio show back home, Selective Styles, which is a national radio show on 5FM every Sunday. Mm-hmm. I've got a bit of a cult following, and I generally like to get into new producers, and I like to get into discussion with people like Ed Jazz and Charles Webster, and the tribe that I am I am exposing on a kind of international level. I've all been heavily inspired by the likes of Charles Webster and Ed Jazz and Larry Heard and these guys. There was a time in South Africa where we were licensing all this music in when I was working at Soul Candy, and we were putting it out. And then all these youngsters were listening to it and then trying to make this music on Fruity Loops and all this cracked software. Yeah. And they were okay, but we're definitely there now. Like, we are there. When it comes to production level, we international standard, if not better, to be honest. Like, and I just really want to wave the flag of South African producers that are doing stuff unauthentically South African, because that's that to just get straight into that's kind of the problem that I keep facing is everyone around the world, when they look at South Africa, they want it to be authentically South African. So the producers that I'm putting out are inspired by all these people from the UK or the US, which absolutely. Is not really South African at all.
No.
Yeah. So that's my mission.
But that inspiration and that kind of translation of the sounds is absolutely authentic, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So what makes South African deep house unique?
I think the first point that I've been experiencing over the years, and I'm so immersed in it in South Africa, and when I come travel, it's just the tempo. Tempo is key in South Africa.
Yeah.
We play slow.
Yeah.
We play really slow. And when I come and tour, and I want to be authentic to what I do, I play slow. And people are like, what is going on? Because generally they put me in a lineup where I'm going to have to drop it.
Right.
Because everyone in the lineup is playing kind of UK or Europe standards, which is quite quick.
Yeah.
And, you know, we start in South Africa, like warm-up DJs are starting at like 110, 113 BPM, and they will finish the night at 118.
Max.
And that's like here, and people are going crazy. And I think that's really what makes our scene so unique. And the way the guys are producing is at that tempo. You know, if you 90% of the StayTrueSounds releases that are coming out are slow.
Yeah.
And that's how it's meant to be played. And I think that I've got a lot of work to do, without a doubt, across, you know, apart from South Africa, to really show people what is happening, because it's super exciting.
Yeah.
And kind of doing it our way. So yeah.
And by doing it your way, that's playing it at the speed that it should be played at.
100%.
Is it jarring?
No, I mean, if you clear a dance floor, at least they're listening, you know. I think it would be hurtful for me to come and misrepresent myself in any situation.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have to adapt a little bit, which I think is fine. But you know, if I came and did just like an Afro house set, because that was what people assumed that I represented just because I'm from South Africa,
Yeah.
and people liked it, and then I kept getting booked for that, that wouldn't really be authentically me.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, this has been the story of my life. I'm 43, and what I've done and where I've got to has taken a long time, because I've always wanted to do it my way,
Yeah.
which is never really the easy way.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've got time, and I'm very happy to put the work in.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's a much more fulfilling journey when you stayed authentic to your true self.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, even when I got the radio show Selective Styles, I had, by no means at all did I think that I would be the candidate for the position, because the previous guy who had my slot was like the biggest commercial artist in South Africa. And then they asked me to take his slot, and I was like, whoa, like, do you actually know who I am? Because I'm not gonna fill those boots. I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
And they were willing to take the chance, and you know, now it's like an award-winning radio show, and I still do my thing. But it took people a while to adapt to what I represent and what I want to showcase.
It's wonderful. You pushed that sound. You stayed true. That's fantastic. It's
Yeah,
inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So talking about kind of fitting in, how does StayTrueSounds fit into the scene now?
We're the leaders in South Africa, hands down. And I'm not saying that out of a place of like arrogance. It's a fact. When it comes to deep house music, I got all my schooling at Soul Candy Records. I worked there for 4.5 years as label manager. I had no idea what I was doing when I started, like none whatsoever. And fortunately, with being in that position, I learned so much, which enabled me to run StayTrueSounds now.
Yeah.
However, the music output is very different. Soul Candy was about radio hits and was about very soulful house, whereas I struggled a bit with the music I was putting out, because we were trying to achieve a target at the end of the month and recoup our costs, and everything was ROI and just business,
Yeah.
which I struggled with, because for me it wasn't about the music, and that was always my objective, like music first.
Yeah.
And that's what StayTrueSounds is about. I mean, it's taken me 6 years of running a label till I can actually pay myself as an owner of a business.
Yeah.
But music first is always the policy. And when it comes to house record labels, House Africa is unfortunately no longer there. Soul Candy started again.
Right.
But they're kind of in their infancy as a record label. And StayTrueSounds has just been constant. And lockdown really helped establish the label, because I think similarly to you, I have ADHD and I can't sit down and my mind is constantly firing.
Yeah.
And I pushed the whole release schedule up because all my DJ sets had gone. So I mean, I didn't know what to do with myself. So I put all my energy into StayTrueSounds.
Yeah.
And it became StayTrueSounds Fridays. And it was all the music I was supposed to release for maybe over a year, I pushed out in like 3 or 4 months. And then everyone was at home producing, and they were sending me their music, and I just kept scheduling. And then we just really, really built a brand that so many people admire. And the nice thing is the brand is able to sign someone that people will not know, and people will listen to it just because it's got the StayTrueSounds brand on it.
Yeah.
So I'm in a good position where I can expose great artists without having to look at their Instagram follower count or their Twitter following, which is, I know how record labels work these days.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even need to see what you look like. If you make great music, we're going to release it.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing to hear that, and even to hear kind of your resistance to the commercial element of running a label. And obviously that's a big part of what you do. Like, you can't get around that. But in your schooling was
we
part
want to
of
make
that.
money.
Yeah.
I want to make money.
You want to
I
get
want to
paid.
do it. Yeah, I do. But I'm not gonna. You know, the label has released some things that may seem commercial, like my remix of Master KG Jerusalem was like a big. The Deep House Police were very disappointed in me.
Lock him up.
Yeah, totally. In South Africa, we have the Deep House Police. These guys, there's certain rules that you cannot cross. And remixing the biggest track in the world at that time and putting it out on StayTrueSounds was a huge no-no. But I think I still think it's a great remix, and I think it definitely fits beautifully within the catalog. And I mean, we just released Gypsy Woman, a big cover version of a massive house song by Crystal Waters.
Yeah, iconic.
Yes.
Iconic record.
Again, I think fits so beautifully within the rest of the catalog. And it doesn't mean that I'm so underground that I'm not going to release things that I still think are good.
Yeah.
And I think it's just literally, if I can play it in my DJ sets, and if I'm willing, and it touches and it moves me, it's gonna get put out on StayTrueSounds. So
that's almost the litmus test. You are the litmus test.
Literally.
Yeah, I love that.
And I get so much music because I'm constantly curating. So I've got 3 hours selective styles every Sunday. Then I've got StayTrueSounds Stream once a month. Then I've got Defected Broadcasting House once a month, Worldwide FM once a month, and then StayTrueSounds, which is signing and releasing. Yeah. So my life is literally just curating and listening and compiling and repeat.
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to shout out Tom at Defected, actually.
Totally.
Yeah, he's done an amazing job on Broadcasting House. I actually worked with him on that.
Did you?
Top guy.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I'm able to have 2 hours on a platform that has 1 million followers. Yeah. People are starting to understand what I do and what I represent and the music that we play and how we play it. So shout out to Tom, shout out to Defected for allowing me to just be able to do my thing.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Defected family. I want to know kind of what artists and producers are really kind of making this scene. Because you're talking about like all of that time, all of those hours of programming that you're like curating music for. Who's really standing out for you? Who would you want to talk about right now?
Oh, so many. I just get so excited. Chronicle Deep is a no-brainer right now in South Africa. He's really everything he's touching, from remixes. He calls his remixes clapbacks, and they do. They just is it slapbacks, but they just slap in the club. Every single thing he touches is just he's got a ability to produce music that transcends so well on the dance floor. And then there's another artist I've been working with for over a year now. He goes by the name of Alpeo, and he's not house. He makes it sounds like new jazz. The music I used to listen to 20 years ago, Compost Records, Rainer Truby, Nicola Conte. Yeah. And we finished this record, and it's incredible. So I'm working with him. Beats by Hand has finished the full album that I'm going to be releasing, which is amazing. I'm always doing the volume, StayTrueSounds volume.
Yeah.
I've got 5 that I'm working on now, which is generally like 20 tracks of people you've never heard of in your life that are just doing incredible music. And then there's obviously the family, CEO,
Yeah.
Dawson, FKA Mash, China Chameleon, Andile Andy. All these guys are constant.
Yeah.
These guys don't have full-time jobs. Their full-time jobs are making music and building their brands.
Yeah.
And it's a really exciting space to be in South Africa, to be part of that scene.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But there's too many. I can't single like one person out because, Nutty Nice. There's just so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of music.
There's a lot of music, and there's a lot of guys that are just making really, really like just everyone sounds different to each other. China sounds different to Chronicle Deep, who sounds different to FKA Mash, who sounds different to Nutty Nice. But they're all doing such amazing music.
Yeah.
And it all connects. So again, just a really, I wake up and I'm just super grateful to be able to be part of what's going on.
Yeah. And providing a platform for it. So many different platforms for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the little Kid Funk ecosystem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And it really works. If I like something, there's been a number of artists that I will champion that other people don't really connect with, which is fine. But if people connect with something, if I'm playing it on my show on Sunday, I'm very Twitter heavy over my show. I'm making sure people are seeing what I'm playing because 90% of the time it's not released.
Yeah.
But I will see by the likes and retweets and engagement of a song when I play it, and I'll feel it live in the studio that this is going to be a big tune.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of moments like that around Chronicle Deep, Nutty Nice. They're probably my 2.
Chronicle Deep and Nutty Nice. I'm hearing
Was that
hearing a lot of.
Yeah.
Okay, big up Nice. Big up Nice. You got some fans in the building.
We got to bring Nutty Nice to the UK.
Yes.
Oh, come now. Yeah. This
Please.
is the thing. Hyperphonic. It's a no-brainer. There's just too many.
We've got to make it happen.
There's too many. Hyperphonic is one of the most incredible finds for StayTrueSounds.
Hyperphonic.
But there's going to be people I'm forgetting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're going to... Oh, who?
There's too many guys.
Yeah.
There's too many guys. And
Yeah.
everyone's doing their thing. And everyone has their place. And
Yeah.
everyone's killing it. It's
Absolutely.
amazing.
It's inspiring. It's inspiring. And it, in some ways, there's certain sounds that are overshadowing others at the moment that are trending. I'm a fan myself. I'm not playing it down at all.
Sure.
But it's absolutely overshadowing in some aspects deep house at the moment. What I loved about what you just described about your live show was how you're kind of using live engagement and feedback on social media to kind of test the waters with the music. And then using that to kind of drive what you're then putting out when you're playing
100%.
unreleased tracks.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Sometimes when I'm not sure of a song and whether it's actually going to make sense for the label, I'll just put it in a mix and play it on Selective Styles.
Yeah.
And generally I'll get a feeling, yes, I should sign or not. That doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
I'm quite stubborn. So if I like it, generally,
It's going
snap
out.
it up straight away.
Yeah.
I don't try and overthink it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just too much. There's just way too much stuff coming out of South Africa.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. There is so many great genres that are coming out of South Africa. The Amapiano scene, the Afrotech scene.
Yeah.
Kwaito, we invent genres of music and put it out. But the one thing that has been constant has been deep house.
100%. I was there in 2013. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, that's
so
when
sorry
we first
to cut
met.
you.
Yeah.
We first met in 2013 at Spring Fiesta when you were kind of curating and beginning
Yes.
your career there. And what a journey it's been. What an incredible journey it's been. It almost feels like coming full circle at this point and talking about True Sounds.
And I mean, I was opening the Deep House floor at Spring Fiesta.
Yeah.
So just for people that don't know what Spring Fiesta, it's like the biggest dance events in South Africa, black markets, and they cut up this huge space.
In Gauteng, right?
It's in Gauteng, it's in Benoni, it's at the water park. It fits 15,000 people for a one-day festival. And there's a hip-hop floor, there's a deep house floor, there's the main stage, I'm a piano floor. And I was opening the deep house floor in 2013. And in October this year, StayTrueSounds is running the deep house floor. So I mean,
when we say full circle,
we've gone full circle. So I mean, I've curated the full floor.
Yeah.
And everyone that I said that means something to me musically is on the lineup.
Yeah.
Even if they aren't on StayTrueSounds.
Yeah.
I've got Vinny Da Vinci, Christos, Natty Nice, Chronicle Deep, FKA Mash, Skivo.
Oh my gosh.
Hyperphonic. I'm representing the new school, and I think it's time.
Is it still in September?
It's going to be October.
I'm trying to go.
You need to come. You're coming to South
go.
Africa, come to Spring Fiesta in October.
Absolutely.
It's heavy.
Absolutely. I just want to congratulate you on that. I want to take a moment to congratulate you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, what do you see for the future of True Sounds? Where are we going?
So, I mean, obviously, you can see I'm traveling a lot, and I've got an agenda. StayTrueSounds is we're big in SA. Like I said earlier, like I've got my fan base. We're headlining dance floors at Spring Fiesta. We're doing things, but I really need to be overseas to break through and make sure that we are worldwide. Amapiano has their kingpins that have been traveling the world and connecting the dots, which has led it to where it is now.
Yeah.
Same with Afro Tech, same with Afro House. Deep House scene, no one's really in South Africa kind of like put their hand up and said, right, I'm going to wave the flag and broaden the scene. And I'm doing it. I feel like that's... Southern Rebels are.
Southern Rebels are, apparently. Yeah. Yeah. No, but I see you.
Yeah. Shout out Southern Rebels. And I mean, with people like Southern Rebels, we need more Southern Rebels. That's what I'm saying. We just need more people to understand, because every single time I send music out, it's just, you need to experience it in its realist form in South Africa to truly understand how it's played and how the tempo is meant to be.
Yeah.
Because when I promo out, people are like, oh, that's nice. That's a nice chill out tune. Oh, that's really deep. Like, this would be a nice warm, like a track I could warm up with. Yeah, and it's like, no, man, this is peak time shit in SA. This is where people are going crazy. And I get it, I understand. But it needs someone to come and represent and showcase it how it needs to be done and how it is done. And yeah, as I said at the beginning, there's a lot of work to be done, and I'm not scared to do the work. Got amazing music, amazing artists, great label, great scene, and I believe we can, through time, get it to where it needs to be.
One, two. Yeah, so you've got an amazing roster at the moment, and your roster, of course, will be pushing the sound as well. Where would you like it to go? Like, what is your vision?
So, I mean, I can't give too much away, but things are in, plans are happening, deals are going to be on the table that will really, really help what I'm trying to do to expose the sound here. I think the best way to represent what I'm doing is to do essentially what Sandelo are doing. It's just to take over a club and we curate the whole night and do it how we would back home. instead of us trying to jump in on guys that are playing a certain way in the UK, and we jump in, it's always going to dip. The tempo is always going to go down, and people are always going to be like, oh. So the best way to do it is curate it like I would in South Africa. And I think if we had to start doing that and take over nights and run club nights throughout Europe, we would start making headway. We would create the scene that we have in South Africa. And it would be niche, but there's enough people that like good music that would essentially start following. And what excites me about it is the fact that it is new to Europe. And I think that UK, Europe, there's a whole bunch of people that want something new. And hopefully we can showcase that and get them excited about what's happening.
Absolutely. If Europe is one thing, it isn't shy of innovation when it comes to music. And even as you were speaking earlier about kind of the tempo change, like and South Africa creating genres. Genres have been created in the UK from changing the tempo of, like, you know, classic kind of New York house sped up, garage sped up, and then that became speed garage, and, you know, different kind of sounds that come to the UK that are played at a different tempo that then influence entire new genres. But I do understand, as a purist, as a label founder, as a producer, as a DJ, exactly why you want to keep it at that tempo and push the sound as it is supposed to be heard. I just wonder if we have any questions from the audience. Don't be shy. Yeah.
Of course we do.
Okay, so the question was, if Kid was going to pick one DJ in a B2B set to complement his style, who would that be?
Julian and I have played so many back-to-backs.
Oh, shout out Julian Gomez.
Yeah,
Julian.
He's so small and I'm so tall. And they're always like, no, we'll put you two together. And I mean, shout out to Julian. We started StayTrueSounds together. And then we're just too similar. And someone had to carry on, and we're still very close. But it just makes sense. We just understand each other. Musically, I know where he's going to go. We did Boiler Room together. We did Africa's Not a Jungle, the New Year's for Black Coffee together as a back-to-back. We just did something else together. And I've tried back-to-backs with other guys, and everyone wants to pull it their way. And then, I mean, I want to go this way. Whereas Julian and I seem to, so I mean, he's just my obvious go-to because I think we're comfortable with each other.
Yeah, that makes sense. Two peas in a little and large pod.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yin and yang.
Yin and yang. Julian Gomez is also such a legend and really has been a massive part of our education here in the UK alongside yourself in the sounds and pushing the sounds and for over a decade now.
He is house music.
He is.
He is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm definitely house music, but I mean, I'm a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So Julian is
straight down the line.
That's his lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been fantastic.
Shout out to Dams.
Shout out to Dams.
For putting this together.
We appreciate you, Dams. Shout out to Silk. Shout out to White City House.
Yes.
Drums Radio. Can I have a hand?